For those of us who have experienced performing in the zone, we all know how wonderful that feeling can be, but also how fleeting and hard to replicate this is. In this video, I'll be sharing my thoughts on what it means to be performing in the zone, as some would call it entering a state of flow or flow state. So make sure you watch till the end for some tips to level up your mental game. Hey everyone, my name is Yao Tong and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm a musician based in Singapore and I've been freelancing and working here for the past 8 years since finishing my studies. On my channel, I hope to share my experiences and lessons I've learned in my career so far. Hopefully this can help you too in your journey to becoming a successful musician or freelancer. So if these are topics that you are interested to learn about, make sure to subscribe. So what is this magical zone that musicians and athletes speak about? The zone is a state of supreme focus, where we are performing close to or at peak potential. Our attention is absorbed solely in the present, everything else disappears and our mind is fully connected to achieving our goals. Some people report this as an out-of-body experience and all our actions happen with ease. Our sense of time can distort too, things either fly by or sometimes happen in slow motion. All this leads to a state of flow which results in relaxed high performance. The zone can actually happen in our practice where everything seems to work and we are actually having fun for once, or in our performance where everything that we have worked on is happening effortlessly and our music, our instrument and ourselves are all fully connected as one. This is not limited to just music and sports, and we can actually experience a state of flow in other aspects of our lives as well. While not very common, things like preparing for a difficult task or project, studying, acing the exam, things like public speaking are all possible scenarios where we're able to enter the zone. Let's look at some of the factors that must be present for us to enter this state of flow. Number one, interest level. We must be sufficiently interested in the goal or task at hand. It cannot be a subject that we hate, for example. But for musicians and athletes, this is not usually a problem, as broadly speaking, we do love the work that we do. Number two, motivation. We must be motivated to accomplish the goal that we set out to do, and there must be no doubts in our mind on what we hope to achieve. In sports, the natural competitiveness of athletes bring out this motivation to win, and for musicians, this usually occurs in, for example, recitals or high-pressure performances. The third thing is confidence. We must develop the trust in our abilities to accomplish the goals that we set out to do. This happens through repeated practice and sufficient preparation, which allows us to take on harder tasks over time. The fourth thing is no distractions. We cannot be concerned about what the audience or spectators are thinking, or even things like what your friends are doing or what's the latest trend on TikTok. Total concentration must be on the task at hand. The fifth point is task difficulty. The flow state only happens when our skills are tested to the limit and we feel challenged by the task at hand. Of course, the task cannot be so difficult that it's deemed impossible, but it cannot be too easy as well. If our task is too easy, it's very hard for us to enter the zone as we will likely become bored. However, if it's too difficult, we will likely be stressed or anxious and we're not able to achieve our goal. So it's very important to balance task difficulty and actually our skills. And to manage this balance well will actually help us enter a state of flow. While we cannot predict when the flow state happens in our lives, I believe there are a few practices and strategies we can use to actually help us increase the likelihood of that happening. The first thing is be well rested. It's incredibly important to get enough sleep, as you cannot enter the zone if you are physically or mentally exhausted. The second thing, smart or enough practice. Make sure you have done enough good practice that leads us to have more confidence in our skills and abilities. And the third point is accurate appraisal of our skills. We need to correctly match our skill level and the goals or tasks that we hope to achieve. While it's not wrong to have a big aim and goal in mind, and we do need the challenge to enter this state of flow, I think it's important to know where we are at the moment and potentially scaffold the process with smaller, attainable goals. And the next point is quiet our minds and remove distractions. I know many musicians who actually have a pre-concert or pre-practice routine, and the aim is actually to maximize focus and concentration. Meditation, visualization, and breathing exercises are some of the possible ways to help us with this. If you are interested to know more about this, do leave a comment below and I'll probably go more in depth in a later video. But most importantly, stay away from the biggest distraction, which is our mobile phones. And the next point is learn to stay in the moment. I think it's very important to make a distinction between practice and performing, and the voice in our head that helps us during practice is not usually very helpful in performance. While it's not possible to totally switch that off, I think we need to focus on the right cues that can help us in performance. We need to trust our practice and avoid overthinking or analyzing what's happening in our performance. Self-doubt can start to creep in, and thoughts like, "Oh, it's going too well," are definitely not very helpful for performance. Remember, stay in the moment and go with the flow. And the last point is have fun. Stop worrying about what people think and make it a goal to have fun and enjoy the moment. But I hope you have learned something new from this video. While it's impossible to force or will ourselves into a state of flow, I believe that by implementing some of these strategies, it will help us focus and also increase the likelihood of us performing in the zone. In any case, it will usually lead to better performance. So what do you think of the zone? Have you experienced it before, and how often did it happen for you? Please leave your thoughts and comments below, and a like if you found this video helpful. Thank you everyone, and I'll see you next time.